Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So the Serpent's deep dive dropped and we're gonna break it down because let's face it, he looks absolutely miserable to fight against because yet again we're gonna have a champion with undexable, unblockable special attacks and well, on the bright side, he does have access to true focus and a few other neat tricks and yeah, he's a ramp-up character, and typically ramp-up characters are basically largely neglected because there isn't too much daily use for them. We all love our A-gun when, Necropolis comes out or Abyss comes out, and then he collects the dust for 6 months. Seems Kabam has found a way around that, kind of. Because if you make a ramp-up character also a nightmare defender, then, it's kind of like a additional level of use for a champion. But let's get to it. So as we can see here, the guy is going to be a cosmic character. Obviously, he's going to have buffs in his kit, even though comparatively speaking to the most cosmics, I don't think it's that many buffs, but he will have access to Furies, he will have access to focus buffs, and also resistance passives and pierce passives, as well as fury passives. So here we can definitely see that once he's ramped up, he can put it up some quite large numbers. Here he is with 11 Furies. Later on in the breakdown, we'll also see him with like 17, 18 Furies. And yeah, that is quite a lot of damage there. So his abilities, right, let's just start breaking that down. The Serpent was sealed away once. He does not intend to be sealed away twice. His primordial non-magnetic armor grants immunity to Power Lock, Special Lock, Heal Block, Fate Seal, and prevents his ability power rate from being reduced below 50% by non-Mystic champions. Adaptations from Eons Beneath the Sea grant immunity to Cold Snap and reduce the duration incoming bleeds by 90%. So there's quite a lot there, right? And also his combat power rate is reduced by 30%, but he has kind of like a Hyperion-like power gain, nowhere near as potent as Hyperion power gain. Basically, you get it at the start of the fight for 8 seconds, then it goes on cooldown for 8 seconds, then it kind of comes back. So obviously, he's going to get his power one way or another, and then you're going to have to deal with his unblockable special attacks. Additionally, there's going to be yet another fun mechanic when you're just trying to bait out a special and nothing really happens. So as many cosmic characters these days, obviously he's going to be great Penny Parker with his immunities to the power lock and whatnot, and power drain, and he also has this inexorable passive, which will prevent him from actually being pushed back when you get hit. It's not like unstoppable in the sense that you're not going to be able to get out of your opponent's combo if you're getting hit. You're still going to be receiving the hits, and it's still going to be effectively like disabling you for opponent to finish a combo or special attack. But when you do get hit, you do not get pushed back. Obviously, this could also turn out to be at times problematic defensively when you are trying to, get a champion in the corner. For many champion playstyles require that. He actually also has himself more additional bonuses and benefits when you have cornered the opponent, and that is going to be helped to achieve by that inexorable. I can't even say that, but by the new passive. Right. So as a defender, he gets not as a defender. He gets Furies at the start of each fight, and he has his persistent charges. So the Serpent starts each quest with 1 persistent dread. Winning fight grants him 1 dread as a defender. He starts with 3. At the start of the fight, gain an indefinite Fury buff, increasing attack rating for each dread. So here's gonna be where a lot of damage comes in a longer form, questing type of situation. For each dread on the opponent's critical penetration and the potency of incoming instant damaging effects from champions are both reduced by 20%. That's actually quite interesting because that means that defensively, he's going to be receiving significantly less bursts, by 60%, against a lot of champions as well. So he can be quite chunky and tanky as defender also. Skull Force charge is max 16, plus 1 charge or more when one or more personal buffs end or are prevented by ability accuracy or immunity. So this is going to be super easy to get. Obviously, the power gain, you can also just, dex once and hit the opponent. +1 charge when the Serpent's power is drained or burned. +1 charge the first time an opponent dodges back during the Serpent's special attack. +1 charge per bar of power spent when the opponent's knocked down by a special attack, plus another if they are knocked into the wall. -1 charge when he's knocked down by special attack. And here's an interesting point. In Battlegrounds, you start with 4 charges already if you're an attacker. So they definitely have kind of tried to, keep Battlegrounds in mind as a game mode as well, designing this champion. So he has Pierce, so he will be able to shut down FAM completely. And he obviously gets benefits for all of the Call Force charges that he gains. So he starts with a resistance up at 4 charges. Then at 8 charges, he gets Pierce passive, while active attacks that strike opponent in their block while their back is against the wall deal a burst of energy damage as well. At 12 charges, attacks that cause a weight miss to fail or deal a burst of X amount of damage. And striking opponent's block pauses personal power gain and furies for 0.35 seconds. And then whenever Serpent gains charge, he also grants a 40% inexorable passive for 3 seconds, which is that passive that we talked about that lets you not get pushed back, basically. Right. So we discussed that. And also, there we go. Inexorable. This is going to be... Right. Champions cannot be pushed back by basic attacks, and power they gain from being struck is increased by the given potency, and I believe this was 40%. So he's going to get more power when you hit him as well, which is not going to be fun to fight against. Whenever the Serpent would gain 1 or more charges while at max charge, he instead gains a Fury passive, increasing attack by 1100 for 60 seconds. Max attacks 20. You can actually get to the 20 charge, and obviously then, especially if you have 3 Dread, you're going to be dealing a ton of damage. Level 1 has access to instant bursts of Cold Snap damage, as well as that Fear debuff. And level 2 basically is the special that you go for when opponent has a lot of armor. His level 2 is going to do significantly more burst damage based on the opponent's armor. And yeah, there will be some situations where you're probably going to see some crazy numbers from that. Additionally, special attacks. On activation, gain an unblockable passive for 0.65 seconds. If the first hit breaks the opponent's block, then blockable is paused, and as an attacker, the potency of Serpent's instant damage is increased by 70% until end of the special attack. Also, on activation, gain an indefinite true focus buff. This buff is removed when Serpent is struck, but as a defender, only when Serpent is struck by special attack. Well, this buff is active, the Serpent special attacks cannot be avoided with the Dexterity Mastery. So we're getting an unblockable, undexable specials that are backed up with true focus as well, which obviously bypasses miss. And he has power again, and he gets more combat power if he has that inexorable passive. So you're gonna have to deal with these things. That's gonna be fun. That is gonna be fun. Right. So that's for the special. Special 3, gain a non-stacking Hour of the Allfather's passive, doubling all Call Force charges and personal Fury gains for 40 seconds. If the Fury buff from Dread is not active, or if an Aptitude or Intensify is active, reapply it. Also, if this attack deals 0 damage, gain a power gain buff, granting 2 bars of power. And now finally the signature ability. So each Call Force charge grants an extra attack, scaling with how close the opponent is to the wall. The Serpent grants immunity to stun effect during the opponent's special attack, so this is going to be more annoying as defender as well. And once per fight, when the Serpent would be knocked out, he has 125% chance to consume all Dread and gain Death Immunity buff for 8 seconds. This buff cannot be staggered or nullified for each Dread consumed. This effect recovers 1.25% of max health and grants 10% of bar power per second. So he has also anti-nuke mechanics in there. Like, obviously, this champion... You know what? I'm just going to come out and say it. I'm just going to come out and say it. I know that DLL designed this champion. It's probably going to be good. Probably going to be valuable and useful. And again, you know, for longer form content as an attacker, maybe situationally in Valorant as an attacker because of the extra charges. And he's you know, clearly also like a lot of defensive troubles. There are two things that Kabam is doing right now that are really getting on my nerves. That's besides the whole idea of like releasing many defenders, but I mean like more specifically ability wise. Number one, leave the fucking willpower alone. Which in this case, to be fair, they didn't switch off willpower because it doesn't really apply many debuffs. I suspect is the reason. Otherwise, they probably would have. And the next thing is unblockable, undexable special attacks can fuck right off. It's just not fun. It's just not fun. It's the type of thing that's... I don't know, at this point I'd call it a bitch move. Like, Jesus Christ. It's like, there's a dexterity mastery, let us use it. Like, great. Unblockable, undexable specials, you know, increased combat power rate and power gain as well. Yippee! I'm sure this is going to be fun. I am sure it's going to be fun going up against the champion. So, well, truth be told, he looks great. As in valuable, as in useful, as in I want to, you know, get that champion and rank him up. If both Ironheart and Dust I'm not particularly fussed about, then this champion does look like he's going to be more of a staple in the competitive game. At the same time, it's like, Jesus Christ, like another, again, unblockable, undexable, special attacks, true focus there as well, and right. Anyways, that was Serpent's deep dive. Let me know what you guys think, and I'm gonna catch you guys soon. Bye. Hello there, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about the next